will just say I do
Yeah.
very much rate Martin as a musician.
Welcome to Confide Music. How are you?
I'm rather annoyed, actually. Like, who do you think you are, you entitled snowflake? I knew this would happen. I really expected it. You'd be like, oh, poor me. People are criticizing me on the internet. You know what? I'll get all my fans to tell me how great I am. When I was being criticized by all of your friends, I was just like, I'm all right with that because I have inner confidence. Because obviously it's just the mainstream audience that can't deal with me.
Oh, because you're just spitting so many hard truths, that people just don't want to hear. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. They just can't deal with it. And Jackson, I do find it quite funny how you can't do a stranger speaking. You have to sing and warble all the way through it.
I just love doing it, when you've got a passion for something, you should pursue it, rather than, trying to hide it.
Oh, is that what your parents told you?
Yeah, they did actually.
Well, I'm glad you're happy.
That surprises me. I thought you'd be like, oh, well, unskilled labor, something, cultural degeneracy, something.
Jackson, I'm not a volatile person, unlike you.
Hey, you're not volatile. You literally did 2 whole videos calling me a degenerate.
I know, but I said it in a very sensible, centered way. That's the way I am. You see, I'm professional.
I'm not sure it was very sensible. You might have touched on a couple of nuggets of truth, maybe, but you sort of veered off into like moon logic. It was almost like you were a parody of yourself.
A parody? Yes, I was. Okay, yeah. I think a lot of people have guessed this by now.
This has been an act. Hello, guys.
What's your real name?
I don't know if I want to say.
Okay, fair play.
I mean, I have a lot of people hating me right now. It's not me, but still, I don't want people burning poo and putting it through my letterbox or anything.
But yes, everybody, Karis is not real. This is a very dear friend of mine. She's a very talented actor, and she did an amazing job of reading the script that I gave her. So is
Yeah, he wrote this.
How did you find getting on with the character? How did you sort of get into the mindset of this bitch?
Well, I think the script, because obviously it was really well written for the character. So I think we've discussed before how you did tailor the script, obviously, to be a character who maybe isn't as intelligent as they think they are, kind of vibe. And we did talk about this. But the script was so well written for that character. I feel like I didn't even need to do that much research. I could just hear the tone as I read it. And obviously, like, you told me about the politics behind it, you kind of explained that. But in terms of the actual, you didn't direct me or anything. It was just kind of, I got that from the script. And I remember I did say, because you mentioned a lot of YouTubers and people like that who have these views and kind of come across in this type of way. And I did ask if you'd send me some links. I then forgot. And then I thought, well, I think I actually know what I'm doing, so I'll just kind of go with my instincts. Now, I did have a bit of kind of influence for this because I was going to be in a play called Great Britain, and I was going to be playing Page Britain. There were issues with finances, things like that, but didn't go through. But she was like this horrible journalist woman, kind of very cutting edge, full of it, snidey, and she was probably a lot more intelligent than Karis, but the nastiness, like, that's where I zoned in on that to some degree.
Yeah. It was interesting to see, like, a lot of people compare it to Katie Hopkins, like, in terms of the delivery, like that super, like, smug, condescending, like, I mean, I think Karis is not, like, explicitly, like, racist like Katie is, but yeah, it was like a similar vibe, which I think you smashed it.
Oh, thank you. The irony is I know of Katie Hopkins, but I've actually never listened to her.
Oh, really?
So Yeah. I kind of just must have been tuning in with that kind of vibe. It is very flattering though, because I feel that that's very much what you were going for. So I'm happy. It's an insult, but it's a good one.
It is brilliant. I'm very happy as to how many people bought it as well. Like, I knew that obviously there'll be some people that would immediately know that it was jokes. They obviously recognize your face. We have like hundreds of mutual friends. And obviously they would already be in on the joke, as it were. But then there's also a group of people who weren't in on the joke. And I think some of them are in the chat now who didn't realize that it was all an act and that it was meant to be a parody of that kind of person. Someone's just put in the chat, hashtag don't cancel Karis. No, we do want to cancel her because she's horrible. This lovely individual.
Thank you.
is
no clue in for the mailbox.
Esme says, bloody hell, you smashed it. Marquis says, top job, both of you, very convincing. So
obviously when we started planning this, I said, so you want a parody, don't you? You want it satirical and to be comical. And he said, yes, but I kind of want people to believe it as well. So it was kind of doing that middle ground where there were definitely elements of comedy in there. But obviously we did get the balance to make it quite believable. Like there were the odd giveaways, I thought, like the nay. The nay was so dramatic. Nay. Like, I've seen that in so many films. And, you know, it's almost become a cliche in itself. And the kind of hand on the chest for childhood classic, because obviously it means so much to me.
I love those touches, honestly. The line that really made me crack up was when he said, "We don't buy it," and I was like, "Where's the next avocado sourdough coming from?"
Yeah, I love that line. These were just, say, the line just stuck out at me, and I was like, I know how I'm going to do that. Like I was a student not too long ago, and a lot of students kind of have that vibe about them. And I had some housemates, and they were so lovely, but they would be so much more wholesome than me. So they would go to places like Waitrose, and they would kind of have quite healthy diets, and they would cook from scratch. And there was me having chips every other week or so. And I kind of came up with like a comedy sketch about when they once found this kind of microwave burger, a Rustler burger from me in the fridge, and kind of made fun of me in a nice way. And I wrote a comedy sketch about like a student shame. And it's all done in black and white, and they show freeze frames, and it's like, oh, they've come back in, and I'm trying to hide my burger. And then they say, oh, we have to go back to Waitrose and get some rapeseed oil, and then obviously they leave, so I can hide my burger. And then at the end, the burger's in the bin, and it just unravels, and it says Finn.
I want to see that. I want to see that.
It never happened. It was just an idea, and I know I haven't explained it very well, but yeah, it just made me think of that. But yeah, because I have done some kind of comic sketch writing, but not in a while, to be fair.
Oh, awesome. Have you actually done much writing during in lockdown at all? I know you've done some songwriting because you're obviously a musician as well and a singer.
I am. I think just gave it an extra funny twist on me criticizing you.
Yeah.
We gig together, we've performed together. It just kind of, I love that. It's like, friends rip me. We're on a roast battle now. You're coming up on. That's what it reminded me of.
What Marcus pointed out, which is particularly hilarious, is that obviously there's been loads of people that have bought into the character, even though during that first video there is a part showing you the gang vocals video, and you're in it singing the song.
It's brilliant. It is everybody who realised that was like, does he know that she's in the video? But obviously it worked. Nobody noticed. It was great.
No, that was the most delicious part of it for me.
Oh, definitely. And you know, when I'm getting hate mail and all that, we can just show them the video and it'll be fine. No lawsuits, no restraining orders. It's all right. You know?
I will be. And here's the interesting thing. I was mentioning this to her on the phone earlier this evening, and that I realized there were going to be kind of three groups of people that would react to this particular content, in that you'd have the first people who obviously know who you are and would realize that it's all a joke, it's all a bit of an act, and it's obviously, you know, meant to be funny and a parody and stuff. Then there's the second group of people who don't realize that it's a parody, who are obviously on my side and like, who the fuck's this bitch? Oh my God, I can't believe this. And those are obviously the two biggest groups. There's a small third group who don't get that it's a joke, but also agree with her. And that I find the most interesting, because Karis is a character that I've not just dreamed up out of nowhere. All the talking points that I put into that script are taken from, you know, contemporary and very popular, like, right-wing YouTubers. I say people like Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens, and I say maybe not quite as awful as Katie Hopkins. Like, she's quite overtly, like, just a total racist. But more like, I'm trying to think of some others, like Sargon of Akkad, all these, like, young YouTubers that are influencing people with these, like, really awful, and as we were talking about, like, a really poor standard of debate and philosophy about the world. And I felt like it was important to parody that. And I was hoping that, you know, if there are people, and I will be posting, obviously I control the Daily Grift YouTube channel, right? So it was particularly amusing, obviously, commenting as both Confide and the Daily Grift on that video.
Oh,
but
yes, that's another thing. You know, Martin, he was talking to you. All your comments, that was him. That wasn't me. I was just there thinking, oh goodness, another insult, and then Martin would come along and just add fuel to the fire. It's like, okay.
It's okay. They're not attacking you. It's Karis. It's all her. It's her. She doesn't exist. But
it is true, and I'm so glad we've done this reveal, because I think that's the thing. If it's my face, it's my voice, and it can be scary, because if people don't get that, people will think it's me. But luckily, obviously, there's the name change. It's not my name.
yeah.
But it does almost feel a bit like identity fraud. Someone's just taken my passport and going to be like, I'm this. But like you said, the comments were so good, some of them. I mean, I love the ones saying, am I your ex-girlfriend seeking revenge on you? Those type, they were great. I did, there were obviously quite a few about the kind of presentation, and as we were saying before, you kind of wrote it in a way to make it a bit over the top, a bit over flowery, lots of big words. I mean, I started reading it and I was like, oh my God, it's a tongue twister. Oh, I can't do that. I'll just be tripping over everything. It's like, need to get in my head. Because as an actor, it's like a simple sentence. You can do so much with it. You can kind of really get into it, can get in your head like that, because it's so quick and so simple. But when you have so many words, it's like you've forgotten the first one by the time you get to the second one, and such long sentences as well. And I think, as I say, you're creating this kind of idea of a pseudo-intellectual, in the words of Karis. So there was a criticism about me having swallowed a dictionary, which it was kind of deliberate, wasn't it? But it was, very well written for a monologue from an actor's point of view, but for an argument, maybe not so much. But as I say, there was a shaky camera. This is something I found really funny. Particularly with, I think Tour de Farce went very far on this. So we wanted it to look quite low-key. So we said, we'll either use my laptop or my phone. I don't have recording equipment. I could do with a good camera, but I don't have one. I don't have a tripod or anything. So in the end, we decided my phone would be better than the laptop. But I've got no one to film me. I mean, I do, but it's mean, isn't it? Like, boyfriend, stand there for 3 hours whilst I do multiple takes. It's not really fair. So I did have it up here like this. And I think one of the comments was, she's not very professional. She's got a shaky camera. Looks like she got up late that day. And I just love the idea of me, like, waking up hungover, being like, I have to slate that Jackson guy. Like, I can't keep my hands still.
Just shaking with pure rage and the drink tremors combined.
Hungover. Like, I think it was that kind of, maybe she's hungover implication, and I think anyway. And to be fair, I have performed a bit drunk and hungover. It's been great because you have no inhibitions. I actually think best performances, But yes, so when I was holding up the camera, there were two things. One was that I gesture a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm doing this and that, and obviously the camera is doing this and that as well. And also, like, as a singer, I do my own videos that they are quite low key. They're not very well. I can't edit for shit, so that's one thing. He's edited all this, by the way. And I hold it up, and after a couple of takes of, say, a 4 or 5 minute song, my God, the hand does start shaking. So I did find that funny, but yeah, it's not easy to hold a camera still. I will add that in.
See, this is. I think I mentioned to you in a voice note recently, and that I don't think the camera work was bad at all. Like, you know, when you're doing a DIY video like that, obviously people have like zeroed in on like the shaky cam, or like but that's just the same sort of shake you'd get from any DIY video. But because obviously the character and the viewpoints coming across are so like awful, like you're like, okay, right, I'm dunking on this person, I'm criticizing everything. Okay, the camera's too shaky and the wallpaper's too bland, and
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
shit like that.
Well, that was a thing. I think I told you. I was thinking, I don't know how personal people are going to get, because if you don't like someone, you're going to pick on anything. And I'm like, I deserve more money for this if I get slagged off. I'm joking. I'm joking. But it's that kind of thing where people will pick on anything. And I've just been really lucky that people haven't gone too personal. But at the same time, like you say, it makes sense. People do this, and
Yeah.
she isn't a nice person. Like, even in spite of the political view, she's just not a good like
No.
she's snidey, she picks on people, I was saying to you, in spite of what political party you align yourself with, this is like a tutorial on what not to do. Like,
Yeah.
don't
Big
take
time.
someone's kind of private piece of art and criticize it to get personal, be condescending. You
Yeah.
put your argument forth in a really understanding way. You don't do it like that.
Yeah.
And I think I also told you that I kind of had this idea of a dictator speech,
Yes.
which is why maybe
Yes.
it got a bit more
Dramatic.
emotional at the
Yeah.
end,
Yeah.
because it was, yeah, exactly. It's that kind of guilt tripping, that kind of playing on people's emotions. What can you do? How things are. So yeah, I was just, I say, trying that kind of angle in terms of performing it.
Excellent. Yeah, it was just, yeah, I really enjoyed that. Like, it was just so perfectly on the line between like, so like it was over the top and enough so that people who were in on it will find it funny, but not so over the top that but that it was convincing. You know, you mentioned before about obviously the like a lot of the flowery language and long words and stuff, and that was quite deliberate. Fun fact, obviously I mentioned this to you on the phone. Prior to the release of Cancel Freedom, I was putting out some promotional materials that was like a nasty tabloid like the Daily Mail, but it was called the Daily Grift, right? And clearly people just totally missed that, because not only is it called the Daily Grift, it's also the same script. It's literally, I posted the script before the song came out and nobody recognized that it was the same. But I got the influence for that from watching Jordan Peterson videos. For the blessedly uninitiated, Jordan Peterson is essentially the stupid person's idea of what a smart person is. But what he does is exactly what you described, where he will have actually very little idea of what he's talking about, but will use lots of long words and like these intellectual sounding sentences, but actually saying very little, and generally being uninformed on most of the subjects that he tries to talk about. So yeah, you really nailed that. And to be fair, Jordan Peterson is a lot more. He talks a bit like this, and he's a little bit monotone, so you wouldn't want to really emulate him at all. But you definitely.
I can try that next time.
Well, to do Jordan Peterson, you just have to kind of do like a Kermit the Frog impression, but like toned down a little bit. This postmodern
I was
neo-Marxist.
thinking Muppets, yeah.
I think
OnlyFans. That was an interesting one.
Oh right, Alan has
OnlyFans
asked.
has gone down now.
Oh yeah, Alan's asked if you've got an OnlyFans.
No, but I have a lot of like female friends who do the OnlyFans kind of thing, because I'm a podium dancer as well, just kind of a hobby. But quite a lot of them have OnlyFans pages. But yeah, no, I wouldn't be Keris doing OnlyFans.
No, she would not approve of that. That's slutty degeneracy in her view. She would hate that shit. She would see it as a decline of the West.
Do you want children?
What do you mean? I'm starting my own business just because it happens to be sex work. Yeah, hilarious.
I've written a few notes. One was I think you should have a mug, a promotional mug with where's the next avocado sourdough coming from on it with your face and an avocado. I wrote that as a note.
I might do that because I did a post today, like pretending it was going to be my next single.
But as I said myself, I've said to Martin before, like, I'm not the most political person. I have kind of philosophical political views, but I find it hard to like specifically align myself with a party just because of this volatile stuff that goes on, but yeah, Martin hired me as an actress. I found this extremely fun. I'm definitely not like Keris in real life, I will say that. But yeah, it's been a brilliant job to do because it's just been so different. And so I say, when as an actress do you get to do something where people think it's real? I mean, it's horrible because you don't come off stage and get everybody saying how great you are. You come offline and get everybody saying how they hate you. But it's a compliment in itself.
Part of me wonders if maybe I don't want to invest too much time in it, but I was wondering, I had an idea in my head of maybe saying that, Cara Overton-Wright has left the Daily Grift. She's no longer part of this. She was caught. She did some discretion and now she's like booted out. And I was thinking of continuing the Daily Grift, but like overdubbed with me with like a pitch
shifted voice and doing a voiceover.
Because I know that I've had a couple of people approach me who've cottoned on that it's a joke, going, dude, can you get her to do my band next?
Yeah, I was actually going to say this. Like, I can imagine her almost becoming like a kind of Ali G type of character, a caricature that goes round and people think she's real. And to be honest, as long as, say, it doesn't cause problems for me in real life, I'm not against doing other people's bands too and making this a thing, but I don't want to commit to that, but it's something I'll consider, if that makes sense.
Well, I'll put you in touch with Kieran, see what he says, because he's like, mate, this was fantastic, brilliantly executed. My friend Stephen Heron said that, what did he say? It's like, this is a total arsehole. What an absolute fucking arsehole. Great content, mate. Would definitely watch again. Like,
yeah, it's been a roller coaster.
Esme has suggested that maybe she got kicked out of the Daily Grift because she was caught eating an avocado on OnlyFans.
That's a good one. I like that. I will just say, I do very much rate Martin as a musician. So yes, as I say, you're really good because you're as good at an instrumentalist as you are a vocalist, and I think that's actually quite rare in a way. You stand out both, which is good.
Thank you.
Oh, this world is so complex, but your attention spans less than 5 minutes. Oh, that's education, worldwide access to information. You've squandered it on the mental gymnastics, picking apart the semantics. Don't you dare look down on me.